Okay, full transparency. I'm recording this very late. February has long been over. It is already March. And I woke up this morning not feeling great. So I'm also possibly getting sick, but I need to record this video. So yeah, it's time for my February update. I don't really have much of an intro because I want to hurry up and get to the big news. So yeah, let's just get started. Hey, hello, my name is JoJo and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome. So, things that happened in February. A lot. For one, let's start with the beginning of the semester. So the semester started, I think, like the second to last week. Let me double check. Yeah, the second to last week of January. So starting with school stuff. So if you saw my vlog that I posted a couple of weeks ago, then you will know that I'm taking a class this semester. Also, if you've watched pretty much any of my videos for the past like 2 months, all I've been doing really is complaining about two things: internship and the fact that I had to take a class this semester. So that class started. It is evidence-based treatment. It is an APA required course, and it is probably the most boring class I have ever taken. And I feel like so bad saying that because the professor of the class is like desperately trying to like make it engaging and elicit some discussion in the classes when we meet, but it is just an objectively very boring class, and I don't think the most interesting teacher on the planet could make that class interesting. It is a class about evidence-based treatments, learning about them, not so that we can practice them, but learning about what does or does not constitute an evidence-based treatment and whether or not that even really freaking matters. So a lot of the articles that we're reading are like very research heavy, very data heavy, very like, this is why CBT is considered an evidence-based treatment, or these are the things that are involved in the randomized control trials to determine if a certain treatment is effective. But also, here's why maybe that shouldn't matter. And also, here are all these other things that might have more of an effect on the effectiveness of a treatment that have nothing to do with like these things that we test for in these randomized control trials. I'm getting bored with myself just trying to describe the material. Yeah, it's just a very objectively boring class, and no one wants to be in that class. Literally no one, absolutely no one wants to be there. So I feel really badly that like the professor is trying so hard to make the class interesting, and it is just not working, and it will never work. But I can tell that that's not going to stop her from trying. So yeah, so that's that class. I am also teaching again this semester, or co-teaching. I'm co-teaching culture, ethnicity, and mental health with one of my lab mates. This is a class that is typically taught by our research advisor, but she is on sabbatical this year, and so we are teaching the class in her place. And honestly, the class has been amazing. It's a relatively small class. There's only 14 students registered for it. It's an entirely discussion-based class, and I don't know if this is how it typically has been in the past, but I feel like the group of students that we have this semester are so engaging, so open to the types of discussion that we have, so reflective and introspective, and it makes for a very like fulfilling space to be in. I'm genuinely excited to go to that class on the days that we meet, and I am actually like quite sad when the class is over. They just all have such interesting things to say that spark so much curiosity, not just in me and the co-instructor, but also like the other students. Anyway, I could just sit here and rave about them forever. The class is amazing. Research stuff. I finally submitted my IRB for my dissertation. Sans funding because we still haven't been able to secure any of that, but I did submit for one funding opportunity that I got selected as a finalist for. So that's on the horizon. There is also a fellowship opportunity coming up that I am in the process of putting together an application for. So you're gonna jump. Yeah, you are. Hi. So there's possibly funding on the horizon, but I had to submit my IRB without it. That's dissertation stuff. What else is going on research-wise? I don't know. Research is kind of up in the air right now with everything going on with this presidential administration. There's been a lot of worry both within my lab and I think across institutions more broadly about the future of the type of research that my lab does, the type of research that I do. Like we literally just had a lab meeting about it last week, just to talk about the state of research funding and research in general as it relates to the type of work we do. And I think we're trying really hard to stay hopeful and positive and stay motivated. But like I full on like admitted to my advisor, I was like, my motivation right now is just because like everything just feels really scary right now. But yeah, we're trying to stay hopeful. We're trying to stay positive. The paper that our lab is working on is still in the works. My advisor is still editing that first draft that we put together back in December, or was it December or was it January? Over winter break. So we'll continue working on that in the near future. There were a couple of conferences that like I really wanted to put something together for, but again, lack of motivation on the research front right now. So those deadlines just kind of slipped by without me really remembering them. And so like I kind of am like, oh, that sucks because I really wanted to put something together for that conference, but also like there's just a lot happening right now and I'm trying to have a lot of grace for myself. So yeah, that's where things are currently with the research. Now on to what I actually wanted to talk about, clinical work. So internship match happened. Internship match happened on Friday, February 21st. And I recently posted on my members only a video about like that whole morning of, or not whole morning, but like the whole preparing to and reading the email with my news inside of it. And TLDR, I matched. And not only did I matched at my top choice, the site that I ranked #1 when I submitted my rankings. So it was a very good day. It was a very emotional day, but like emotional in a good way. So if you want to see my full reaction, feel free to join my members only so you can watch that video. It's just like a 9-minute long video, I think. Yeah, it honestly still kind of doesn't feel real. I feel like every time I think about it, I have to sort of have like a pinch me moment of like, oh, yeah, like I did match, like that actually did happen. And like I actually am at this point in my PhD journey. Like I'm here after in my first year feeling like this point would be so far away. Like it happened, it came, it went. I'm now a week plus past it. And it just sort of feels, yeah, like I'm still sort of in a dream almost when I think about it. But yeah, it's a good feeling. And so with that, I mean, I hope if anyone else participated in the APIC match for internship this year, I hope you got the results you were hoping for. At the very least, I hope you matched. And if you didn't and you are in the midst of phase 2, just know that like you are not alone. I personally know someone who didn't match in phase 1 and is going to have to participate in phase 2. It's unfortunately very common. There are just simply not enough internship positions for all of the applicants, which is so unbelievably stupid that it like actually makes me really mad to think about, because I don't understand why. And I know that I like went over this in my whole internship rant video of everything wrong with the process, but like I just don't understand why it's so difficult to just have enough positions for students to all be able to get a position when this is a requirement to graduate. And I've heard from multiple sources that like the match this year was particularly bad because there were that many more applicants than there were available positions. I think the number of people who didn't match is like in the hundreds, like several hundreds. So just know that like my heart is with you. You're not alone. I have no doubt that like you will end up where you are supposed to be, where you are meant to be, if you are going into phase 2 of the match, and everything will work out. So yeah. In other clinical news, I'm like at the point in the year where like I'm starting to talk about termination with my current patients, and it's really sad. I've already had a couple of patients tell me they don't want us to stop working together, that they want to follow me wherever I end up next year, which is not entirely possible. This is like my least favorite part of clinical work, is the part where it has to end. Hint, hint, I have my own separation issues that I might talk about one day on my members only series that I've started. If you aren't aware, I've started a series on my members only called As a Therapist Trainee, where I talk about difficult experiences that I have gone through and that I currently am going through and what it's like to be dealing with those things as a therapist. He just fell trying to jump onto my TV stand. Dude. The first episode is already up where I am talking about what it's been like to struggle with my mental health throughout my life and also during my PhD journey. The second episode will be up very soon where I'll be talking about navigating conflict within my family. So yeah, if you want to be able to watch that series, you can join. Again, I feel like I've plugged my members only so much in this video. But again, you can join my members only to be able to see that. And the reason I'm posting that series on my members only is because if you watch the first episode, you will see very quickly that the subject matter gets very personal. And there are just details that I'm including in those videos that I'm not comfortable with sharing more broadly to the just general public. So anyway, I forgot what I was actually saying and how I ended up on that. Members only as a therapist. Separation. Oh, I was talking about termination. So yeah, terminating with my patients is something that I am talking about right now and I hate it. So yeah, the next couple of months, my externships, both of my externships and towards the end of May, like those last couple of weeks of May. So I have about 3 months left. But over the course of these next 3 months, I'm going to have to keep bringing up termination to just have it be at the forefront of mine and my patients' minds so that we can process it as it gets closer. And I don't like doing that. So that's that. As far as overall feelings, I definitely feeling, particularly with this class that I'm taking, definitely feeling a bit of senioritis. I have zero motivation to do any of the assignments for this class, in part because of how boring the readings are, but also because I know mentally my brain is this is the last class you have to take. And honestly, does it even really matter? Even though I know it matters because it's a required class and I have to make sure that I pass this class. But the actual motivation to do anything is just non-existent. So senioritis is definitely kicking my ass. The other thing I'm feeling is particularly in these past couple of weeks since match day, is just genuine excitement. I went out with a few of my cohort mates the other night, and we were talking about what it's going to be like, or what we think it's going to be like or feel like to be on internship next year. I was just wow, I'm really excited to work full time again. I'm so over school. So if you don't know, I took 2 years off after undergrad before I started my master's program. And in those 2 years, I was working full time. I wasn't working in the field of psychology, but I had a full-time job. I was working 9 to 5, 5 days a week. And while I didn't love that job in particular, I did love having a job. I loved getting a paycheck every week, a real paycheck every week. That was probably the most adult I have ever felt in my entire life, having a full-time job and getting a real paycheck every week. And since starting grad school, it sort of felt like I regressed in my adulthood, where I suddenly felt like I was a teenager again. And that's has not been a good feeling. So I'm like really excited to like have a full-time job, have nothing else but a full-time job going on in my days, well, other than working on my dissertation. But apart from that, like I'm gonna be getting up every day, working 8 to 4, okay? I'm gonna be getting a real paycheck. It's not gonna be a great paycheck, but like I'm gonna be getting like a real paycheck. And I feel like I'm gonna finally feel like I'm like in the next step of becoming a therapist. Like even though I'll still technically be a trainee, I will feel like, oh, I'm like doing the thing now, you know? And I'm like really excited for that. So yeah, this might have been the first time I've talked about overall feelings and I didn't say that I was like tired, even though I am tired. Well, I just said it. But like that's not like the primary feeling that I'm having at the moment. Is not like just chronic exhaustion, which is also like a breath of fresh air. So yeah, things have been feeling good lately. So anyway, that's it for this update. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I'll see you in my next one.